Argentinian football, the pinnacle of the game, the league that has fostered the most talented players this sport has ever seen, where some of the most iconic clubs in the world play their games in legendary stadiums packed to the brim with the most passionate and loyal fans. However, when you look at how the Argentine league is played, you are left with one question. What? How? Why?
Hey, those are 3 questions!
Shut your goddamn mouth! It is a well-researched fact that the Argentine league is a super complicated and confusing mess, and it doesn't help that it basically changes its format every year, and sometimes even midway through the season. However, as it was requested by people of the channel, I will do my best to explain how the ecosystem in Argentine football actually works. This video was chosen by the members of the channel, including Mateo Ivan Tournier, Albert Cardenas, Rusty Shackelford, Crate, 8744, Santiago Lebro, Friday Mai, Diog, The Boy, Leonardo Melnik, Sadik, Tapiwa M, Old School NASCAR, Nick Pro, All Rivers LLC, Harry Sackman, 6256 Mateus, Karun, Wawita, The King's Way, Shio, JoPro20 and Lulo. If you become a member of the channel, you'll get early access to all of my videos on top of unlocking emojis that you can use during live chat in the streams or to use in the comments down below in all of my videos, and also to monthly polls where you can choose the topic of the next video, such as this one. To learn more, click the join button below, and while you're at it, leave a like, a comment and subscribe, as it helps out the channel a lot. Now, back to the video. As with any pyramid, we gotta start all the way from the bottom. If you wanna create your own club in Argentina, it's not enough to just walk into the AFA and sign in. You gotta earn your spot in. Now, for this explanation, there's something important that you need to know. Argentina is a huge country. We're talking from Madrid to Moscow or Los Angeles to Washington levels of huge. And with a country so large, it's impossible for teams with lower resources to travel across the country on a regular basis to play their matches. Yet a third of the population lives here, the metropolitan area of Buenos Aires. This is why most of the lower divisions are split into 2, the Metropolitan and the Federal Leagues. To make this already confusing video less confusing, we'll look at the Metropolitan side first. If you live somewhere near Buenos Aires, you may start playing in a local league in your neighborhood before being invited into a promotional amateur tournament. Here, as it's implied by the name, amateur teams play to earn promotion into the AFA. Nowadays, the league consists of 14 teams who play 2 tournaments every year, Apertura and Clausura. After a single round robin, so everyone plays everyone once, the champion of the Apertura is crowned, and we repeat this process for the Clausura. Both champions earn promotion and get into the AFA ecosystem. If the same team wins both tournaments, one of 2 things can happen. If the second place team in both occasions is also the same, they earn promotion too. However, if the runners-up in Apertura and Clausura are different, they play a final to determine the last promotion spot. These 2 teams get promoted into the Primera C, the 4th tier of Argentine football. Currently, this league has 27 teams, which makes the format a bit clunky. They are divided into 2 groups of 14 and 13 teams respectively, and they have a double round robin, after which the winners of each group face off in a 2-legged final to determine the champion and the first promotion. The teams that finish 2nd through 7th in both groups qualify to the playoffs, where they play single elimination games in a bracket to determine the second promotion. The team that lost the final for the championship is seeded into the semifinals of this tournament for a chance at redemption. And the 2 teams that finish bottom of their respective groups play a final, with the loser dropping out of the AFA ecosystem. The 2 teams that promote enter the Primera B Metropolitana, consisting of 22 teams. We go back to the Apertura and Clausura format. Everyone plays everyone once to crown a champion and repeat. The 2 champions then face off in a final, with the winner earning promotion. The points of both tournaments are added up into an annual table. The 6 teams that have earned the most points, except the champion and the runner-up of the final, qualify to the playoffs. Now you, Keep these playoffs in mind because we'll come back to them later. And the two teams with the least points earned across the year relegate. Now, if you live outside of the Buenos Aires metropolitan area and you create your club, you will find yourself into the federal ecosystem. First, you have to win your regional league, depending on your location, before entering into the federal regional amateur tournament. Here, teams are divided across 8 regions. They are distributed into groups from where they qualify into a bracket. The winner of each region qualifies for the finals. The champion of the Patagonia faces the team from the South Pampas. The North Pampas play the champion of the North region. The one from Cuyo play the one from Littoral South, and the Littoral North plays the team from the Center region. The 4 winners of these finals promote into the Federal A. The Federal A is part of the 3rd division, same as the Primera B Metropolitana. Currently, there are 38 teams in it, divided in 3 groups of 9 and a group of 10. These groups are allocated by region: North, South, East and West. They play 36 match days, a quadruple round robin. This means everyone plays everyone 4 times, 2 at home and 2 on the road. The 4 teams that finish bottom of each group relegate, and the top 4 from each group make the playoffs, being seeded from 1 to 16 based on how many points they got and goal difference. The playoffs are a single leg played in the stadium of the higher seed, and in case of a draw, the higher seed advances, except for the final that is played at a neutral venue and with a penalty shootout in case of a draw. The winner of this final earns promotion, and the loser has to face the winner of the V Metropolitana playoffs. Told you we'd get back to it. To determine the 3rd and final promotion to the Primera Nacional. The Primera Nacional is the 2nd division, and it's where finally Buenos Aires and the rest of the country merge into a single league. It consists of 36 teams divided into groups, who play a double round robin. The 2 teams that finish bottom of their respective groups relegate, while the winners of the groups face off in a final to determine the first promotion. Teams that finish 2nd through 8th make the playoffs, with the team that lost the final joining in the 2nd round. The playoffs are home and away ties, and in case of a draw on aggregate, the higher seed advances, except for the final that is a one-off game in a neutral venue, and with the winner being the 2nd team promoted. And finally, the top of the pyramid, Primera División, where currently there's a whopping 30 teams playing under the following format, which I can assure you is bound to change. 2 tournaments, Apertura and Clausura, 2 groups of 15, single round robin, everyone plays every team in their group once, plus 2 teams from the other group. One will be your main rivals and the other will be selected randomly by a draw to complete 16 match days. Then the top 8 of each group qualify into the playoffs, with the first seed playing the 8th from the other group, the 2nd against the 7th, and so on. Knockouts are a single game played at the stadium of the higher seed, and in case of a draw, the match goes straight to penalties, the only exception being the final that is played at a neutral venue and with extra time after 90 minutes to crown a champion. And then you repeat the process for the Clausura. Both champions will qualify to the Copa Libertadores, CONMEBOL's equivalent of the Champions League, alongside the champion of the Copa Argentina, the national cup competition, and the 3 teams that have gathered the most points across the year that aren't already qualified, with the 6 teams below in this aggregate table qualifying instead to the Copa Sudamericana, the equivalent of the Europa League. 2 teams will relegate. One will be the team that collects the least points across the calendar year, and the other will be the team that finishes bottom of the Promedios table, which quantifies all points collected across the last 3 seasons and divides it by the amount of games played to spit out an average score assigned to each team. Now, you may be wondering, if you have 2 champions, wouldn't it be cool if they played each other to determine who's truly been the best team of the year? And you're right, It would. Which is why the AFA introduced the Champions Trophy, a single final played at a neutral venue to give out an official title, and the winner of the Champions Trophy qualifies to play the Super Cup against the champion of the Copa Argentina. But wait, there's more! The winner of the Champions Trophy also qualifies to play the International Super Cup against the team that obtained the most points across the year. Originally, this competition was only made to milk money out of the UAE, but after the deal fell through, it's been played in Paraguay to keep its international status, even though it's clearly a national title. Whew! I think that's it. Hopefully now you know everything you need to know about Argentine football and how it works. Again, thank you so much to the members of the channel for choosing this video, but especially to you for watching this video up until the end. Remember to like, comment your thoughts down below and subscribe to not miss out on any more videos about South American football. I'll be seeing you all next time.